It's interesting that in the last week or so, when there's been a massive publication of editorials and commentaries in the British and American media in support of the sending of arms to Ukraine, not a single article and editorial has appeared in the Canadian media in support of this. Why that's the case is difficult to know. But the articles which have appeared in the past in the Canadian media have argued along similar lines to the realists that we can't send arms to a corrupt country such as Ukraine. Well, sorry, we've never sent arms to corrupt countries in the past. What the hell were we doing with Pakistan since the 1980s? Pakistan's not corrupt. We haven't been sending billions of dollars of military assistance to Pakistan. We haven't been training their forces. Why are Canadian special forces training the Iraqis? Is Iraq not corrupt? Why are we sending weapons to a militia, the Kurdish militia, to fight ISIS? Are they an army of a state? No. They're a paramilitary militia, which is also involved in a very corrupt part of Iraq. So the idea that we can't send weapons to Ukraine because they're corrupt is ridiculous, particularly because it's not just a question of sending defensive weaponry. What I would argue, which is just as vital, is the sending of training and advice. And you can't steal training and advice. It's brought by individuals. And the second phony argument made sometimes in the Canadian media and elsewhere, and I was asked this question today on CBC, is, well, so where's this equipment going to go? Is it going to go to far-right volunteer battalions? No, the Americans have said all along that any military support to Ukraine, if it is going to be sent, and the pressure is building up on President Obama for this, would be sent to the Ukrainian military, not to the volunteer battalions, because it's important to build up the Ukrainian military. What to me is surprising as well is the degree to which in the Canadian Parliament there's no equivalent at all of the Ukraine Freedom Support Act adopted by the US Congress in December. Why is the Ukrainian community in Canada not lobbying, and why are pro-Ukrainian members of the Canadian Parliament not pushing for a similar kind of piece of legislation to what was adopted in the US? And why is Canada always looking over its shoulder at what the US is doing? Why can Canada not make its own decision about whether to support Ukraine with lethal defensive weaponry and training? If Canadian Special Forces can be in Iraq training special forces, why can't they be in Kiev?